Well, it's never a dull moment under the Trump administration, at least. Always something new to analyze and try to figure out. How will this harm me? How will this harm my finances? Or best, how will it leave me alone? So Trump announced that he wants to eliminate taxes on earners making less than $150,000 a year. So if he gets his way, it would be no income tax on those earning below 150K a year, which to me doesn't go far enough. If you're going to get rid of income taxes because you're already getting your rent money through increasing the prices of products we buy, including food grown outside the United States and laptops made outside the US, which is pretty much all electronics at this point. We're going to be paying more for our cameras and our laptops and our cars in the near future. And hey, that's fine if you give us something in exchange, but I think it has to be more than a $150,000 threshold. I think it should be no income taxes, right? If you're just arbitrarily slapping huge tariffs on everything we buy to live our lives, then you've succeeded in rotating the tax burden, and it should apply to those making more than 150K, in my opinion. So I think this is cool, but it doesn't go nearly far enough. And the stock market continues to be wonky today. It seems like whenever you do something that the Trumps want you to do, like buy Ether, Eric Trump, when Ether was at like $2,900, Eric Trump was telling people what a great buy it is on Twitter. It's like what, 1,800 something now, so down more than $1,000 from where he made that recommendation. Thank you, Eric. So good. One way or another, we won't be paying taxes because we're losing so much money. It's incredible. So yeah, it seems like whenever I do something that's what the Trump family wants you to do, I get hurt and I lose money. And that big Tesla presentation yesterday where Trump came out of the White House and he picked out which Tesla he wanted to buy. And he sat in the driver's seat of a new Model S with Elon in the passenger seat answering his questions. The best possible Tesla buying experience, right? When you got Elon himself in the passenger seat to answer your questions instead of some salesperson. Uh, so if I had bought Tesla there, because I was excited by Trump promoting an all-American car company, and what I think is the most advanced car on the road for sure, that full self-driving is incredible. And even without it, it's a better feeling car. When you're driving yourself, it feels better than any traditional engine car, any internal combustion engine car I've ever driven in, either as a driver or passenger. It's just like 10 years ahead of the other cars on the road. That's how it feels. And so it'd be a very obvious move when you have the president suddenly hyping Tesla. It'd be such an obvious move to buy the Tesla stock there and to be a good American. Well, you'd be down. You'd be an unhappy person right now if you'd bought there. And luckily I didn't. I showed some restraint this time. I'm starting not to trust Trumpy. Starting not to trust Trumpy and his great attorney general, Pam Bondi, who's had now more than a month to issue some arrests. She hasn't done anything. She's gone after quote unquote anti-Semitic rhetoric on college campuses. Okay, that's not what we asked for. We asked for the people who went to Epstein Island to be indicted and to go to prison forever. We didn't ask for you to police free speech on college campuses in California. So she so far is a total dud. This Dan Bongino, the guy who was made deputy FBI director, he's starting to piss people off because he isn't leaving for the FBI yet. He keeps running his podcast like it's some important beacon of Western intellect. Your nonsense podcast is not nearly as important as being number 2 at the FBI. Drop the nonsense MAGA podcast and actually go after the people that you've been talking about for the last 10 fucking years, Dan. Like, what is wrong with these folks? So you got Pam Bondi, no arrests. Dan Bongino, made number 2 man at the FBI, and he prefers to podcast until the end of the month. He doesn't want to give his own show, short change. He doesn't want to podcast less. Then you should take your name out of consideration for the FBI. If you want to be some online media star, and that's where you want to devote your time, it seems like you're not going to be arresting people either. So stick to your show then, Dan. You should resign. The fact he's not already up there helping Kash Patel out is absolutely outrageous. So, we're seeing some cracks in the Trump veneer. So, yeah, if you had bought Tesla when Trump did his little presentation, you'd be down big right now. Let's see. Tesla is down 11.1% over the last week. That's a lot. That's like, it's quite a haircut when it was already down a lot before that. So Tesla stock down 11.1% over the last week, and over the last day, down nearly 6%. Of course, Bitcoin, if you had rushed into Bitcoin, all the enthusiasm around Trump's Bitcoin reserve. Now it comes out the Trump family is allegedly trying to buy part of Binance, one of the big crypto exchanges. Can you imagine what Bitcoin would have done if it had come out that Joe Biden on the side was trying to buy shares of a crypto exchange? If the Biden family, when he was president, suddenly tried to buy a significant part of a major crypto exchange, don't you think Bitcoin and other major cryptos like Ether would rip in response? And so right now, I'm just calling it like I see it. This is why it's good I didn't get that White House press pass. So I don't have to be one of the sycophants like Jack Posobiec and Mike Cernovich to tell you how brilliant this is when I think it's dumb shit. I think so far these tariffs are dumb shit that have removed trillions of dollars from Americans' pockets. And if it's a total success, it means we're paying more for laptops and cars in the future. In which case, you should get rid of all income tax, because it sounds like now there's a situation where we're being doubly taxed, right? Our consumer goods are going to be hit with tariffs, our alcohol hit with tariffs, our food imported, which is most of the good food we eat, even most of the oranges in your orange juice, it comes from Brazil and stuff. It doesn't all come from Florida. So we're going to be paying more for things as basic as orange juice. That's great if you also get rid of income taxes. But again, this 150K cap, that means you're not getting rid of income taxes. You're just raising the threshold. Not good enough. If you're going to, totally redo the economy overnight and bring us back to tariffs like we had a century ago, then you should actually get rid of income tax. Otherwise, again, you're taxing citizens more than before. It's just kind of a hidden tax. You don't see it at the end of the year, but you're paying it throughout your day as you buy food and products. Incredible. I hope this guy knows what he's doing. So, all right, yeah, Tesla stock, you'd have been down massively. If at any point you got caught up in this Bitcoin enthusiasm or Ether enthusiasm because the Trumps are taking a, closer stance with crypto, if you had believed that they're good for crypto, you'd be down massively right now. So Trump goes through these phases where it seems like he has the Midas touch, where nothing can harm him and nothing can go wrong. And then it seems like he gets into these phases where it's the opposite, where he has the shit touch, where everything turns to poison. And I feel like that's what the market is doing right now. And this guy was so protective of the stock market last time. And this time, these tariffs, every time he announces a new tariff, it spooks the market. And then when he reverses it, it spooks the market also because it shows there's no stability. That's something investors hate, is uncertainty. Trump could wake up tomorrow and say, hey, 300% tariffs on every microchip that enters the United States. He could just wake up in the morning and say that and crater the market further. So I think the only way to play this is to see that you have no control over what Trump does. He's an agent of chaos. Now, hopefully it's positive chaos, but there's no influencing Trump. And again, I'm grateful that I'm not one of these little sycophants who has to toe the line and tell everybody how great the tariffs are. Well, we don't know. So far, the tariffs have lost Americans a massive amount of money. So people who own stocks through their 401ks and stuff are down below where it was on Inauguration Day. So this tariff stuff has actually taken money off the table. And some people say the stock market isn't the economy. It absolutely is the economy. Most people don't have their money in bank accounts. They have their money in the stock market, one way or another, either through the 401ks or they have ETFs that represent commodities, and they have those in their brokerage account. Real money does not sit in bank accounts in the United States. And you look at these tech billionaires, for the most part, they don't have billion-dollar bank account balances. For one thing, the insurance limit, the FDIC insurance limit is $250,000. You get around that somewhat. There are ways where you can get up to like $2.5 million by bundling. You just do different accounts at different banks. But for a billionaire, $2.5 million cap on your funds being insured is pretty low. So for that reason, Again, you don't have people walking around with billion-dollar bank accounts. People's money is in the stock market. And when you knock off a lot of that value in a short amount of time, those people don't feel wealthy anymore, and they stop spending in the economy. And that's what causes the slowdown. Is, hey, am I going to dinner tonight? Probably not. I've lost so much fucking money, I'm probably going to cook. And if I go out to dinner, am I going to tip the waiter well? I mean, I'll tip them what they're entitled to, but are they getting an incredible tip like when I've had really successful days? No, because I've lost a fortune since Trump has taken office. Lost an absolute fortune. Bitcoin is down. The stock market is down massively. He's killed the chip sector because chips are made and designed overseas, and we just don't yet have the capacity to make them here. Maybe in the future, but it's years away from the chip in your laptop or the chip in your phone actually being made in Texas or Texas or New Mexico or something. That's years away from being reality. In the meantime, you're just going to pay more for all your electronics. And those stocks are going to be potentially on very uncertain footing because they don't know what Trump's going to do tomorrow. They don't know if they're going to be tariffed even higher or if they're going to be tariffed lower. It puts a monkey wrench in the whole equities market. Really weird, really bizarre. And I don't have to sit here and tell you guys it's amazing. I think it's bizarre. I think, again, if he's going to do this retooling of the economy, you have to completely get rid of income taxes. If you're going to charge everybody more for the stuff that we need to buy to just live our lives, then you got to get rid of the income tax. But he could say no tariffs at all tomorrow. He could end the whole tariff regime, and the market still would not trust him at this point. You can see it. You can see everybody's got jittery hands, no diamond hands anymore, a bunch of jittery paper hands. So, what causes a recession is the wealthy investor class no longer feels wealthy. When they feel poor, they no longer go out to restaurants. They don't buy a second condo. They don't take that vacation they wanted to take. And you could say, who cares? That's not the real economy, but it is. That's what takes, You only learn this through age and through living. That in America, anyways, the wealthy people, again, they're not reliant on bank account balances. It's what's in the stock market. And he's hit it hard. For people who supported him, he has taken a lot of money out of our pockets. And that would be great. As I've said before, I wouldn't mind if the market dropped to zero, if he actually did what he promised, if he actually brings down some of these people, and if he actually makes us feel like the U.S. government isn't just the pirate ship, sending all our money overseas to transgender experiments. If he restores confidence somehow, I don't care if the market goes to zero. I mean, believing in America again would be worth every dollar I have. I don't yet have that faith. Again, this Pam Bondi has proven herself to be useless so far. Appears on Fox constantly. It seems like she wants to be an influencer. Why don't you just join Jack Posobiec and these other people who are always around the president and let somebody else be attorney general? Because it should be a tough lawyer or a tough former prosecutor. And she was the attorney general the whole time that Epstein was living and operating in Florida. Did nothing, right under her nose. So I'd say she's not the right woman for the job. And increasingly, I'm right about Dan Bongino, I think. Guy's just got a massive ego, thinks his podcast is like Walter Cronkite or something. You were offered the number 2 job at the FBI. Either say you don't want it or get off your seat in your little podcast studio and start working there. It's insane. Absolutely insane. And then again, this pummeling that the Bitcoin market has experienced since Trump's summit at the White House, it can't be logically explained. I don't logically understand it. We have to turn to metaphysics, right? We have to turn to karma. And we have to turn to superstition, basically. Trump, again, has this weird ability where he both has the Midas touch and the takeaway touch. The touch where he touches something and boom, 30% of your value is gone. The reverse Midas. He turns your investments to lead. And we're in that phase right now. For whatever reason, Bitcoin's plummeting. Tesla's still down. The things that Trump hugs, the things that Trump says he loves the most in the market are the things being destroyed right now. And I don't fully understand it, but that's what's happening. So again, this 150K threshold, if you're going to tank the whole fucking economy, you better turn taxes off for a little while. Otherwise, you're just double dipping.
You're listening to Fulcrum News, real news from America and around the world. FulcrumNews.com/subscribe to get our premium membership and updates via email.